Hey gang, how's it going? It's Brandon Devnich here with interactive number 82, where we share what we're passionate about and what we've been working on here in the i3D Themes Design and Code Labs. Hey, I hope you've had a great week. Kind of snuck into the office here on Good Friday, get a little bit of extra work done when nobody's calling, and I realized, oh, it's Friday, time to do the video. So the video, this is where we talk about a bunch of different stuff, what's going on here, and a couple things that have come up during the week that we think we should share with you. This last week in the design lab, Colin has begun work on the final porting of information of the Oxygen website template over to a WordPress theme. And the he's had a lot of projects going on this week, and one of them is to actually use that platform, and so he's been doing content transfer and setting that up. So that's going to help accelerate as well the development of that particular design into a WordPress theme. So we're looking at possibly the next 2 weeks or so we should have the Oxygen WordPress theme up and running. We've had a lot of project requests come in the last little bit, and so that's been keeping him very, very busy. In the code lab here this week, I again had Adam, my coder helper, in to help develop and accelerate the development of the Pegasus accelerator, what we've been calling the automated Google page speed optimization WordPress plugin, although we are sort of redefining what that plugin really does, because it does that plus a lot more. But he's been working on making it compatible with a number of third-party caching plugins and a couple other third-party plugins, so that the plugin can super accelerate pages that have certain plugins on them, as well as allow functionality for certain third-party caching plugins to work as well. So he's been working hard at that for now 3 weeks, and now we're taking his code, we've folded it into the development copy of Pegasus that I work on, and I'm going to be activating all those features so that we can release version 1.6 next week. So that will mean that we'll have that functionality built in, so that if you have something like W3 Total Cache or Fastest Cache or something like that, if you have that installed and you want to still use that because maybe it has some extra little feature somewhere, you can, and you'll be able to use that in conjunction with Pegasus. We get people that ask us, is Pegasus a caching plugin? When you say that, do you mean that that's all it does? No. It does do caching, which helps speed up the load time of a web page, but it isn't just a caching plugin. Does it do image optimization? It does that, but it's not just an image optimization plugin. Does it do automated Google page speed optimization? Yeah, it does that too, but not just that. So it does a whole span of things, and really what it does, in 4 words, it is a website performance optimization plugin. It does a whole bunch of stuff, and it does it all automatically, because some of the plugins that are out there, you kind of have to be a rocket scientist to configure them, if you know what I mean. So that's the nice thing about Pegasus, is that you install it and it runs through and does everything that it needs to do to give you as fast a load time as possible. One of our earliest clients for Pegasus gave me a really nice bit of feedback, and was very kind to allow us to use information about his website as sort of a use case, so to speak. And so we now put that on the Pegasus site, but it was very dramatic to see that his load time from his web page went from somewhere like 10.5 seconds down to under 3 seconds just by using Pegasus. And that's basically turning it on, and it optimizes the entire site. His scores went from like 26 out of 100 for mobile page speed score up to 99 out of 100. So very dramatic change. So he's seeing a lot of benefits from that. So that's what we've been working on there. But one thing that I wanted to bring up this week that has been coming up a lot in phone calls and messages is the topic of, and a lot of people use the term SSL certificates. SSL is the old the old protocol. It's now TLS. But we talk about secure certificates. Every website should be running a secure certificate now. There's really no excuse for it because they're now free. And if you're with a web host that doesn't support the free, there are reasons for paid certificates, and like extended validation certificates. I can understand paying for the extra time involved to validate that you are a company. Like if you're a bank, you kind of want to have the extended validation ones, you know. But if you're a regular website that just has content on it, securing the page, you can get a free certificate. There's an open certificate authority out there called Let's Encrypt, and many different web hosts, us included, support this, and we can basically, you log into your control panel and you press a button and you have a TLS certificate, and your website is then protected with HTTPS. It's very, very simple just to install, and just it works. And so it's very fantastic. But if you're with a web hosting provider that maybe is tied into selling these things, like there are a number of web hosting providers, very large ones, that made it their business to sell these, they are not going to be offering the free ones. So what do you do if you're tied into one of these web hosts? Well, you can use something like Cloudflare, cloudflare.com, which is essentially it's like a web firewall. You point your domain name to it, it points to your server, and you can use their shared, they call it shared security certificate, SSL TLS certificate, and that's a free option for you if you want to go that route. They do add, there's some added benefits to using them, such as a CDN, Content Delivery Network, if you want to use their paid plans. But if you're looking for free SSL or TLS certificates, that's an option for you, if your web host doesn't provide the free Let's Encrypt option. Now, one thing when transitioning from HTTP to HTTPS, sometimes you are going to get a warning in your web browser that says, not all parts of this web page are secured. And if you get that, you need to correct a few things in your page. Now, I'm going to provide a link with this video to a blog post that I did a while back that explains what you need to do and how you need to go through your web page. It's actually very easy to fix once you've figured it out. In any case, there should be no excuse not to have your website secured now. It's just so darn easy to do. If you don't, here's another added incentive. Google uses that as a small, tiny part of its ranking algorithm. So, all other things considered equal, when we talk about certain ranking signals, if everything else were equal, incoming links, content, everything else like that, page speed, if your site is secured and somebody else isn't, it gives you a tiny little boost. And I tell you, it's a very easy thing to do to just get that one little extra little check mark in the Google ranking checklist box, or whatever list. Anyways, hope you've had a fantastic week. Thanks so much for joining me, and have you have great plans ahead for the weekend. If you're doing Easter egg hunts, hope you get lots of chocolate. I'm looking forward to it. We'll talk to you again next week. All right, bye-bye.